I want to welcome everybody to Cedarbrook Farm. My name's Ed Crothers. We have a horse here. What's the horse's name?
Laney.
The horse's name Laney, and the owner is Sarah. This is a horse that they had purchased. I think they went to look to buy. Once they got there, this mare was practically starved to death, to the point that they just bought the mare and took it home and tried to save it, which they probably put on over 300 pounds. At least 300 pounds. So they said she was, when they got her to their house, all her hair fell off, and they didn't think she was going to make it, even to the point to even get weight on her. And so they brought her today. She got some weight on her, and for us to go over and see how many pain issues she's got. Just by the way she's standing here and the way she looks, that she definitely probably has lots of stuff going on. Now, what do you do with her, or what was she?
I counsel her.
Okay, so you sort cattle.
Yeah.
Okay, so and I think she had done that before you had bought her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this mare was sorted cattle, and I think did some maybe even cut maybe or team pinning. Okay. So this mare, she's 17 years old, been down that road, and unfortunately somebody had got her and just starved her. Luckily enough that Sarah and her mother went to buy this horse and was surprised when they got there. So they just bought her and loaded her up, took her home, and tried to save her. And she definitely looks like a sweetheart. And the biggest thing is, too, when you get these horses that was in her kind of bad shape, a lot of times when you start feeding them and getting them back on, getting weight on, it's really dangerous. A lot of times, once you get weight on them, then you end up losing them anyway. So it's a pretty tough road to get on. But it looks like they've got her to the point now that everything should be, nothing to worry about. Did she ever colic any when you guys got her from the?
Yeah, she's colic 3 times probably.
Yeah, and that's usually what happens. A lot of times you bring these guys back up, and it's not because you feed them too much. It's just because their body's used to living on practically nothing, and then their body kind of does a flip-flop. A lot of times these guys colic. While you're getting weight on them, getting them back on their feet. And she just said this mare's colic 3 times. Well, they're just lucky that they caught it and paid attention enough to, because most of the time that's what gets them. They end up colicking and get a twisted gut, and you got to put them down. Okay, so let's go over her and see what's cooking. You can see here how painful she is. And probably some of you people on there are probably thinking, well, quit pushing on her. Well, when you don't know these animals are in pain, we ride them, we get after them when they act up, we even get us a stick and say, you will do what I want you to do. So these animals are in a lot of pain. So the probing that I'm doing looks pretty bad. But, the biggest thing is I'm going to fix it when I'm done. We have a kitty cat here that wants to be a superstar. See over here, just really. You're all right, baby. You see her going away from pressure there. And I expect her over here a little bit, yeah. Fine. And it's just me touching up there, pushing down here. Well, I can feel where she's out. And it kind of, you watch me do this and you're back here saying, will you quit touching her? But I'm just trying to show you that you might have a horse at home that you're having trouble getting a bridle on, and you're thinking, well, you crazy thing, and smack it in the head a little bit to say, let me put the bridle on. This could be why you can't get the bridle on. It's because it hurts when you bend the head down or probe. And a lot of these horses that went from almost death to get weight on, you can see her hair coat, which, of course she still looks really good. And, Sarah, they'll get more weight on her because it takes time. And they mostly have ulcers. And she's showing an ulcer, but once I fix the top line, when I'll check again later, I think you'll be able to see that, she has even more. Any of your horses that, it's okay, girl. Any of your horses that you're having trouble putting the saddle on, any horse that's biting you, trying to cow kick you, we put saddle on. These horses got ulcers. I mean, you know, every time one tries to pin his ears because you're tightening the saddle up, we kind of give him a little knee in the stomach to try to straighten them up. And the biggest thing is it hurts when they got an ulcer. And that's why they do the things they do. We're trying to tell you, you know, you're making me hurt. And unfortunately, we mislead and thinking they're just being a butt hit because they don't want to be rubbed. Anytime you got a horse that's doing that, put him on ulcer medicine. 8 days later, you put the saddle on, and he'll look at you like no big deal. So right now I'm trying to figure out where I need to start at, which place I need to start with her first to get her to relax more. I don't know if you've seen her right there when she reached down to itch her leg. She tucked her head sideways and kind of jerked, and then went down to her leg. That's because it hurts if she went down to it normally and dip. So that pretty much tells me I need to fix the pole. Here, back up. Back up. See her licking her lips?
Yeah.
I just relieved some pressure there, pushing the pole back in. Ooh, you're lucky these people brought you home. Like I said before, a lot of these times when they're in pain and you fix it, they still think they're in pain, so it takes a little bit. Now I'm just going to show you the pressure that now I slid that back, and I can push and probe and push and everything. I ain't got that head shaking, nothing. I still think I got to go over here and fix this over here. Yeah, right there. It's okay. Now when you're riding her and you have a little trouble going to the right?
Yeah, she has trouble holding me.
Yeah. Okay. She's licking again. You guys done her teeth?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt her teeth, and I know somebody done her teeth because they're perfect. And you can see what it go when I sit there and squeeze like this here. She's all over the place. So now she's letting me squeeze. So sometimes when you're at home and you're fighting to get your bridle on and getting your halter on, I'm just going to tell you that there's a problem. And most of the time it ain't because the animal wants to not to put the bridle on. And what are you doing in this video, Mindy? Which you can probably see the pig, can't you? Yeah, this is Mindy. Get out of here. Go, go.
Does it have ears?
No, this is a pig that we found running up down our main road. Nobody knows who it belonged to. So the two guys that are grinning behind the camera that you cannot see because she's in here, they rescued her, bring her to the farm here, and she is born with no ears. And we figured she'd come here, we'd feed her, and she'd leave. Well, she's been here about 2 months, and anything that we do, she thinks she has to get involved. So, introduce you there to Mindy. Now, Mindy, you need to go. And the funny part is she can't hear. lot better here now. I got that line back up. And you see that little jerking she does, where she kind of does that little jerking, like right there. She still thinks she's out over here, so whenever she tries to throw her nose, she has to do that. If it didn't, it'd hurt real bad. And that'll go away in a couple of days when she realizes it didn't hurt anymore. Okay. Mindy has one little problem. She'll walk right up and grab a hold of your leg and bite and then run. So I reckon we can call her our rescue, but if she doesn't straighten up, I might send her to somebody else's house and rescue. So we're going to work on this neck, or this side of her neck. Pretty, not too bad on this side. At home, you'll probably have to work on getting her to be in and get her to realize up here doesn't hurt no more. Where she, and see, she's still bending real stiff at the top because it had hurt for so long. She doesn't realize that she can actually bend around here normal. Yeah. So we're gonna move on back here. See how dropped down this is and how high this is. It's really bad. It kind of tortures. She has a little trouble getting up straight just because of the way that hip's pointed up there. Okay. Yeah. And you can see, you can actually see right here how this is kind of concave. Over here is not quite as bad, okay? And she's just really not only using this part of her hip back here. This part right here is not working just because this is the way it's sticking up. What's your last name?
Rescue.
last, Sarah
Yeah.
Rustenmeyer. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
You can see right here, I mean, I'm pushing really hard now. Just want you to pick the leg up and just bend it back easy and flex it out. Flex it out that way, yeah. Just pick it up and just hold it for a second. Just do it really gentle. Okay, just hold it right there. Pick it up and just draw it up a second. Don't break her leg off. That's good. Hold it. Yeah. Hold it for a second. I'm going to do this side too. This is my son, Dakota. We call him Dirt. He just turned 16. And he's my baby of the family, which he doesn't look like my baby. She's gonna be a little draw on this one up pretty quick. Just hold it, yeah, just right there. What I'm doing here, all these nerves back here are all drawn together and they're really straining. So by doing that, relaxing the top where I can push them around a lot better than with her weight on her leg. And you've seen how sensitive she was before. You know, now you can see I'm pushing and making a crease going down. I didn't have to do that before. Always remember, when your good horse is going bad, you need to vet, chiropractor, and do some troubleshooting, just like you would your car if it's not driving right. And I'm not saying don't make your horse do what they're supposed to, but when you ask a horse to do something, he says no, and you push it, and he still says no, then you need to get somebody professionally to find out what kind of pain issues you're on. Because if not, you're just barking up a wrong tree. Because pain will not let you do what you're trying to train. Now, do you have her in ulcer medicine?
We did.
You did? Okay. Which that's good on a horse that's starved half to death. You're trying to bring it back, put it on ulcer medicine is definitely a thing to do. She's showing me she has slight an ulcer, but then not. That's what's kind of got me puzzled. That's why I asked her if they've had her on ulcer medicine, because I would, suggest that, she had to be. She's, might have to. You still have her on it?
Yeah.
I'd probably put her back on. I'm still seeing a little bit, not that much. I could just get you to walk up that way a little bit and then turn around and come back. All right, come on back. this girl coming out of the trailer, which you didn't see, come walking over here, acting real hunkering down a little bit and acting a little, she's not, but a little neurological on this right side. But she's not. But she is definitely one that definitely needs some joint stuff, just from getting down to almost dying. She might be one that might need some adequate shots or some legend, something to really get some fluid back into her joints, because all her joints are they look dry.
She uses herself really well.
Does she? Yeah.
She's really quick.
Okay. And this stifle is bothering her a little bit. With all the other stuff going on, I'd say this leg pretty much kind of handled the full load, and that'll probably go away. But I'd say something with her joints will definitely bring her back to 80% at least. I get you to walk her one more time, and maybe jog her back if she'll come. But it's kind of hard to tell on the camera. Her top line was kind of sunk in a little bit here, and now I got everything adjusted. Now it's kind of, everything's kind of came back up, and her top line looks a lot better, and she's still kind of stuff. I think that's going to change, and with her stifle and stuff, she will start working out. I think she's going to really does she flip her tail around pretty good? Okay, you see her moving it around a lot. And you see some of this stuff she's doing with her head, and going to one side where her pole was out. That's what caused that. Anything touches her nose makes her want to do that little jerk her head like that. Does she do that all the time or not?
She just is a really antsy horse.
Did she?
Yeah. She cribs.
Now when you ride her, does she do that?
A little bit.
Not much? Okay. The reason I was asking, sometimes horses that has head shakers will do that. Usually when the sun, but I don't think she's a head shaker.
Did you hear me tell you that?
Okay, she does crib?
Yeah.
There we go. Now, do you like horses that crib?
I mean, no.
They don't?
No.
A lot of people, cribbing, I don't know. I mean, we have horses here that we break and train and this and that. Crib doesn't bother me. A lot of people it does. And pretty much, of course, the animal, it doesn't bother them either. So, and you can put things on to stop the cribbing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So she does the whole thing, suck air and the whole deal.
Yeah, she sucks air.
What's her name again?
Lady.
Lady?
Lady.
Well, I think I've got her in pretty good shape, and the only thing she needs to be telling everybody on the camera, thanks for Sarah, because Sarah probably saved her life, her and her mom, and check everybody later.